Hello everybody and welcome back to once again one of these review vlogs, and this time we will be doing the May of 2023. So yeah, now unfortunately this came out quite a bit later than I expected it to come, like almost halfway point once again, and there's a pretty good reason for that, which is that well, I kinda devoured all of my free time, which I will go into more detail in the live section, but to put it shortly, been busy. Also, all the other times when I wasn't doing, live stuff, we kinda ended up playing Frosthaven with my friends. So, yeah, that took a lot of time. But I will explain that later on. So, first I do want to quickly go over some real life stuff that has been happening. So first of all, I've been getting a lot healthier. That is good. Like, I am like constantly working out like very regularly, and like my mental health is improving, and I don't know, just like everything is getting better. So that's very good. And it all started with really just fixing my sleep schedule very properly. So I'm pretty happy about that. Second of all, school stuff. Next year I might be taking a break from school, might not sure yet. I've done a few entrance exams once again for a different school, maybe. We'll see. It might not happen, might not, might happen, I don't know. We'll see that later on. This is honestly kind of unimportant. I've been doing a lot of studies in my free time. Mostly I've been studying languages and math, so that has taken a huge chunk once again. But it's very lovely. And I don't know, something about my brain just now allows me to do that when I just don't... I need to do other stuff, because I've been like, I don't know, I wonder if I do have ADHD or something like that. I have no idea, we haven't yet gotten to those. I should have those exams later on, or something like I don't know. My treatment has been kind of bad in that situation, on the official front, that they are just delaying it all the time, because, I don't know, I'm not a critical patient right now, so, But at least the way I'm working right now works. Like, I don't know. I'm doing stuff. That is good. Then, finally, one of the things that has been taking up, once again, time, is that I am holding concerts. Like, I have 2 concerts in this month, or in the month of July, so I've been preparing for those. So that took up the last half of my month quite a bit, but hey, it's all good, it's all good. It's not content going to waste. So we will once again start with gaming section. And the first game, I'm gonna highlight only 2 games this time. And the first game will be Frosthaven. So we have been playing a lot of Frosthaven with my friends, like almost every day at this point, and it's kinda funny that we got into it so seriously that we've been just playing it constantly. I love it, it's fantastic. So I do have a lot of fun with that, and we are just constantly waiting for each other to just like get out of work so we can just play it again, like almost daily. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. Now I do have I'm gonna give some few details about like really good stuff about it. Like, for example, the starting classes. There are 6 classes. They are all... I haven't tried one of them, and I haven't even seen one of them, because none of us wanted to pick that up, because there was other classes that were far more interesting. But so far we have seen all the other classes, and they've been really interesting, really fun, really dynamic. And that is like a really huge difference from Gloomhaven, which had really good classes, don't get me wrong. They were really varied, they were very different, but the balance was all over the place, and they were really, shall we say, not the best. However, they were still fine. Now, all of the starter classes are fantastic, it's just like really good and really like flavorful. The other classes that we have unlocked are actually, I'm just blown away by how amazing they've been. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The basic events that we run into, like the outpost events and the road events, have been really interesting. The writing is just so freaking good. Like, Gloomhaven was already really story focused, and it was a really very serviceable story, especially for a board game. It was a good story, really good. And Frosthaven just made it so much better. I'm frankly shocked at how good the story is. Like, the writing is just so good. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the way you unlock some quests is through those, of course, the events, which, yeah, that's fine. That's how it was previously, and it's better. It's still good. But you also get some of them with buildings, because Frosthaven is more focused on the management aspect, or at least it has the management aspect to it, and that unlocks more quests. That is really cool. The flavor text for those is so fantastic. But those buildings unlock classes, and that is really interesting. I was not expecting them to be unlocked by that way, and it just is so much. It makes it so fun to just wait, try to build stuff, and just see what happens, because every building does hold a potential to give you a lot more amazing content, and that has just me through the roof excited for the game. It's so much fun always just to okay, we're just gonna upgrade a really simple building that probably won't do much, but it might do something. It might give us a new quest, new class, maybe at the worst some events, maybe something else. It's like a new mechanic completely. It's so much fun. The management aspect has been one of the best things I have ever seen. So we do have some funny stuff with the tempo of the gameplay that we have noticed, and that is that the game just goes by a lot faster. I don't know why, but it just does. And it might be because it's more engaging, but no, it's just time-wise, it takes less time, but it isn't less complex. Sometimes it's a lot more complex, and it just feels like more condensed experience in every way. It might be a bit more complicated, and of course all three of us have played the game before, but it's amazing. The game is just faster and more dynamic. Now, the general management style of the game is actually surprisingly pretty good. For a game that isn't a management game, just solely, it is really dynamic, and it's very well included in the general gameplay system. So I am loving it. I do want to once again note that one of the best things about the writing just in general is that it's really funny. It's it's really entertaining. There's a lot of silly little jokes, cameos, notes. There's a lot of little mentions that are just I have burst out laughing from the events and the descriptions and stuff like that. I don't know why, but it's just the writing is just really good. It's so good. We have been playing for such a while that this isn't even the honeymoon period talking. It's just the writing is consistently solid and entertaining. It is really, really top tier stuff. For this final part, I do want to highlight one of my favorite combos that we had from our starting team, which is, I was playing Blink Blade, and I will showcase all of these cards. So, I will center them because I don't want to get into any kind of trouble, but we were running with the Bone Shaper as one of the other players was using, and Bone Shaper is basically a necromancer in all but name. Just gets a lot of minions, and they are minions that don't exactly go away because they don't have the loss section in the card, which means that you can have a lot of allies on the board. And Blink Blade does have this card which gives you more movement per ally on the board. And there was one card which doubled all of the fast things with the 3 arrows. So I basically moved over 20 steps in one movement. That was amazing. That was one of the highlights of that character. Of course, that character, just like in general, probably my favorite class in the entire game so far. At least so. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's really hard to say. But man, that combo was just like, oh my! See how I move. That was really funny. That's the final thing I want to know. But yeah, generally, I've been loving it. So, the second game I want to highlight or talk about is Omega Strikers, because that was fully released during June, so that's good. So I did play it during the beta, the open beta, where it was really fun to test out, really interesting to build different like playstyles and stuff like that, because I really enjoyed it back then, and we played it quite a bit with my friends. Now the game in the full release has been like changed a lot, and I personally think they are for the better. So first of all, there's goal locks, which mean that you need to punch those first before the goals open, which that makes the game so much more dynamic, so much more fun, and I just really do like that. Then there's the awakening system, which is that in the beginning of the game you choose only one gear and from 2 different awakenings. So a lot of the different trainings were, like majority of them I think, were transferred over into these awakenings, and while the symbols of course, or the icons that they have, really do communicate what they are going to do, they also like really are, the awakenings are just really interesting way to do this. Now you do draft them, which means that you really do want to get the MVP, especially you kinda want to funnel it towards some of character which in your team who you would like to prioritize getting the higher priority awakenings, and that is a really interesting thing. While that metagaming thing is a bit unlikely to happen in my friend group because we don't play that seriously, it still is an interesting aspect to it. And that is something that I really do like, and now that a few of those really extra important trainings were moved over into gear, which there's 4 for goalies and 5 for striker forwards, and that is a bit of an issue because I would like to have all of the gear for a lot of the goalies especially, but it does like give you a lot of self-expression in the way that you like to, like, depending on which gear you choose. On the striker end, it's not exactly that good, but on the goalies especially, which I do mostly play goalie, they do give a lot of different feeling how you play the game. Like, of course, like some goalies have to stick to certain gear, but still I really do think that they are very well balanced in the way that they function differently. They are very interesting, and they are really like fun to mess around with and change up your playstyle. And with that end, I do have to give huge props to the developers. They are making weekly changes, they are being very responsive to the feedback, they are doing a lot of stuff constantly, they are changing the game a lot, and they are just like trying to be as active as possible without being intrusive and still like make meaningful changes to the balance. So they are doing really well. The devs are, this is one of the best dev teams ever. So now that the full release is out, we have 2 new characters released, and with the full release we also got 2 extra characters which were not there before, and those are of course like Rasmus, Zentaro, and then we had the event which released Vice and Octavia, and a lot of the characters are just like really fun to play with. And while the ones that I don't personally enjoy playing, I really enjoy seeing other people play because they are really wildly varied and very different and really fun and very cool. And while some of them I do absolutely abhor playing against, in Ranked you can ban one, but you can also just like play better. So I really do enjoy it. The characters are really fantastic. Now, the map rotation system currently is that there's, I think, 4 maps in rotation. Might be wrong on that, but apparently they might rotate those out, rotate some different awakenings out, and just like bring new in and anything. All that stuff is fantastic. They're just making the game more dynamic, making it change more and giving it more variety and taste, and that's gonna be fun, and it's a cool way to change up the balance quite a bit. And especially the maps. The maps are just... After the beta, like, the maps were just fine in the beta, but now they are so different. It is amazing. Some maps I absolutely... like, they change up the gameplay so much. Surprisingly a lot. Yeah. Now, I do have to give some negative sides to the game. But they are not exclusive to the game. Because they are just like, hey, online people can be assholes. That is just how it goes. There's some toxicity, that's bound to happen. But fortunately there isn't an all chat or any kind of chat, so there's just the emotes, which can be a bit frustrating, but you could mute those, so could be bad, could be a lot worse. And it's a very less toxic way to communicate because the emotes are very adorable, they are very evocative, they are very funny. So I do very much enjoy them. But, of course, there's some levers, there's some AFK people, there's some just like toxic people. It happens, that's in every online game. And I personally haven't witnessed that much, and I play the game daily, so yeah. Anyways, that is it for now. I might make a review for the game later, once I get like enough time for that, because this has really skyrocketed in my rankings. I really enjoy the game. But yeah, it's really fun, and it's free, so yeah. Alrighty, so for the final section, I will be highlighting a certain animation series. Now only one, because of time constraints. I haven't really read enough stuff that I feel comfortable talking about. And even though this series only has 2 episodes out, I really enjoyed it and I want to highlight it before it like gets bigger, because I don't know. I just want people to like actually pay attention to the series. So, and that is Monkey Wrench. Now, the animator, or the channel responsible for this animation, has been around for a while. I remember from the good old DF2 days from them. There are some of their animations. And Monkey Wrench really encapsulates a nostalgic sort of style, which really brings to my mind and heart like good old Earthworm Jim. And the like general storytelling, animation and comedy is very reminiscent to like general slapstick of that time and like that sort of style. And I really enjoyed watching the 2 episodes with my friend, and I really would highly recommend anybody who likes Western style of animation, but especially the more light-hearted style, the comedy style, to just watch the episodes. It's not that much, it's free, it's 40 minutes in total with the 2 episodes, and it's really just simply fun, and it's rather unique for the current day. So I really enjoyed it, and with that highlight I actually do want to like sideline mention one certain thing, and that is there is whatchamacallit, shall we say, a resurgence of older animators who have been getting into more serious animation, or rather more heavily publicized and serialized animations, and that has been just a fantastic little resurgence in the past something like 3, 4, 5 years. And that is just good to know. People like from YouTube, people kind of maybe not even graduate, but their careers advance. And that is just really nice. So I don't have much for the outro, other than I will say thank you very much. And I'll hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Genmu out.